Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another AFR broadcast. This time we come to you from Sao Paulo in Brazil for round 20 of the Tier 1 AFR Championship. As usual, I am Kunai Zero, and with me tonight is Psycho.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so for those of you who were wondering where I was for the past couple of weeks, I've been sick and whatnot, just not up to the task of streaming, so hopefully you haven't missed me too much, and Psycho was taking over. I didn't even get to catch up on a lot of the streams too, so I'm not sure how the racing was like, but I'm sure it was fairly close. You'll have to give me a recap.
You missed some good racing. We had some very, very tight battles. The midfield's getting ridiculously close, man. These guys are qualifying so close together. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome. Which means that once we wrap up Season 4 and the finale down at Abu Dhabi, when F1 2020 comes around and we kick off Season 5, that'll probably mean a lot closer racing, since everyone will be finishing it around the same pace, and then new game means you have to relearn everything. So it'll be really interesting to see how that all comes together when it does. Alright, so we shouldn't be too far off from starting. I'm pretty sure everyone is in the lobby. We just have to wait for a couple guys to finish up setting things, and then we should be able to switch over. So it's the penultimate race, so Brazil and then Abu Dhabi, and then that'll be it. Revo, of course, won the World Drivers' Championship 2 rounds ago.
He did.
I think.
He did.
Yeah. And then, as far as I'm aware, Red Bull are now the combined Tier 2 and combined constructors winners, so congratulations to them. And Renault have taken the Tier 1 constructor slot.
Yeah, no, these guys have done well. There's still a bit to fight for, though. Mikhail has had 2 wins in a row. He'll be very much trying to get a hat trick tonight.
So, and I believe Seb won't be competing, so Mikhail's pretty much solidified second place for himself.
If all goes well. Yeah, if all goes well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so still waiting on a couple of guys, so we'll just have to try and kill some time. How exciting is it that we now finally have a Formula 1 calendar solidified for this year? So we'll be kicking off real-life Formula 1 in Austria for a double header in July.
Yes, I'm so pumped for it.
Yes,
I cannot wait.
Should be good. The format hasn't been finalised yet. There is talk of possibly reverse grid races or things like that, but it'll be interesting to see what they do, because I'm keen for some real life motorsport.
They have never had a chance. Well, they've never really had a proper opportunity to do a reverse grid race, and I don't think they'll ever get a better chance to do a reverse grid race.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, this is the best time for them to do those things for sure. It's a championship that's already sort of gone to the wind. Reduced races, or at least a reduced calendar. You're not going to go to all of the tracks. You have to do double stints at others. So yes, this is definitely the time to try those things to see if they work. You have some people who are against it, but I think they're against it for the wrong reasons. I think they misconstrue what the reverse grid race is. So they think that it counts towards points when it doesn't. It ends up just being like a fun event, I believe, or it's a replacement for... No, I believe it's just a fun event to do on a Saturday. I believe it's just like a Saturday mini race. I know I read the press briefing, but I've totally forgotten that now.
I think it'll be a lot of fun, just specifically to watch the top guys break through the field.
Yeah,
it'd be really awesome to see.
It should be really awesome to see. Finally, my KO subscription will actually get some use. Okay, so just a little housekeeping before we kick things off. Now, of course, for those of you who haven't already, please make sure to follow and subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, the whole deal. That's where you can keep up to date with all the events and news that goes on. And also it helps us as a channel. And for those of you who watch or tune in every week, thank you so much. It means a lot, and it means that we can keep trying to bring you great content for now and, for the foreseeable future. Okay, so I believe we are getting ready to port in. Let's go ahead and switch. Okay, so while I get this started,
yeah,
everything kicks off.
While you get that started, we are 2 races from the finish, but there's actually still quite a bit to fight for. Just looking through the grid, Band, Wahid, and Geordie are all fairly close in points. Band's on 92, Wahid's on 90, and Geordie's on 81. They're probably the closest competitively at the moment, so it's going to be really awesome to see these guys jockey for position.
Yeah, right. Okay. So still a fight to be had there in the middle. All right. So we see the first couple of guys coming out now. I believe it was a Ferrari that I saw exiting. Let's have a look.
My weatherman has come back to me. There's going to be rain at the end.
Rain at the end. Okay. So that could throw a spanner in the works. We will have to wait and find out. Mikau has quit. I believe he's starting from the back. So
him and Revo might have a suicide pact going again.
Okay, right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's sorry. That's one of the things you missed. They've last week or the week before they decided to start from the back. So Mikau and Seb both retired immediately, and Revo absolutely punted the wall on his flying lap.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, Revo did just leave, so I guess that is the case. Suicide pact intact. All right, so they'll start from the back, which will mean that the rest of these guys will now fight for that top spot. So it'll be interesting to see who can climb now that the quickest two, I would say, of the grid that you see have decided to vacate their spots. Obviously, please no rain for Tier 2. Yeah, that could be a problem. All right, let's jump on board with Gus Rules in the prancing horse for the first flying lap as he makes his way down through the S de Sena and then through the Curva de Sol, making his way at the rest of Interlagos. Interlagos, of course, a very, very fast track, very, very famous. Lots of great races held here, but one to definitely test the driver's skills as downforce becomes quite important with all of these very fast corners. And we go down into fifth, trying to hold those revs to make their way now into the second, or exiting the second sector rather. Matt Dabry, Kunai's back. Let's go. We missed you, baby. Thank you. It's nice to be back. Admittedly, I was really, really annoyed. I couldn't stream, but yeah, I had terrible migraines and things, and it would have been absolutely horrible. So, but it's good to be back. All right, down through the gears now, up. Here we go. Now on the last long curve, you can see a lot of these drivers will try and use the maximum amount of track. On the left, you can see him cut in to the green paint because it is legal. He'll cross the line, and it'll be a 109.1, and that'll kick us off as the rest of the cars come through. So Gus Rules 109.1, Apollo Pepsi with a 109.2. Who else is coming around? It looks like Geordie will now set the fastest lap, a 108.6. His teammate Shrimp 109.0. So the Alfa Romeos are now starting at the, or 1-2 at least for now. Smitty comes across 109.5. What else we got? T-Max splits them up 108.8. So we're getting some pretty decent times here on the board so far.
These guys are punting it in. That's awesome.
Yes, Lotus.
So, if I had to pick, I would have said Geordie for pole.
Geordie for pole. Well, he's currently holding it, 106. We'll see if he can hold it for the rest of the session. 14 minutes left. Hopes, yeah, you had to put up with me instead. Nah, man, I'm sure you did great. I did catch a little bit of the stream here and there, so, I mean, I heard no complaints, so it's hard to fill his clown-sized shoes. Well, I like the aesthetic. All right, so Wahid comes across fourth place, 108.9. Well, who else has come here? Jacob Meister there with a 109.1. And now we are on board with Combined in the McLaren. The first of the McLarens, I think, to potentially set a lap. No, I think Potsy got out before him. We'll have a look on the timing tower and see how he comes across.
Both McLarens running mediums for the first stint.
There it is. So Potsy will set a 109.4. And yes, you're right, on the medium tyre. So the first of the medium tyres, Matzoid there as well, 108.8 on the medium tyre. That's a bloody quick time there.
That's very impressive.
As we see a bunch more people coming to the line, heaps of others pitting as well. Combined now in the middle of Sector 2, just ready to exit. Bandcamp there with a 109.2, so he'll start 9th. Oh, well, he's currently 9th, I should say. Combine now coming through the last corner. There we go, and across the line. And he'll stay where he is, 109.5 on the medium tyre, which put him in 13. So we're still waiting on 3 other drivers to finish their flying lap. Nut and Flyboy both in the pits. Major Payne, however, on an outlap. So we'll stay on board with him, as his teammate, of course, is starting at the back. So it is up to Major Payne to set a flying time for the Haas boys. See where they can start on the grid. 12 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
See, Rebo's not very impressed with Combine's use of ERS.
Well, I mean, if there's anybody that can accurately judge people, it would be him. And it looks like the Major Payne's doing quite a similar thing, leaving the car in mode 3 for the majority of his lap. So, I don't know, maybe something to do with deployment. He still has half deployment as he exits out of Sector 2, so I'm not sure why the choice, but we'll see where it puts him on the timing tower. Here we go, around second to last corner, and now the big long straightaway. Bandcamp putting along nicely on the right side of the road. As Major Payne now falls his way through, maxing the revs. Let's have a look. He sits with a 108.8, and that sets him into third. Not a bad result. That is a great lap to start.
Just like to point out that everyone that's set a time so far is within 1 second.
Yep, that is true. So 108.6 and the slowest is a 109.5. So the entire grid is within 1 second. And that's what happens when you get rid of the giants and put them at the back. All right, so on board with Flyboy, one of 2 drivers for the Pink Panthers Racing Point. Now his teammate, Apollo Pepsi, has set a 109.2, currently sitting 11th. But unfortunately, Flyboy, as indicated by the map there, has invalidated. So he will have to reset. Let's jump up 1 car as Nut now starts his flying lap. And hopefully he'll be able to keep his tyres within the lines. Can actually set a time. Smitty, his teammate, 109.5 up in 13th. We'll see if Nut can best his fellow driver. Nice turn in there. Now, of course, Interlagos does have a couple of corners that can catch you out and force understeer in the car, such as the one you just saw, and here comes another. So you've got to really be careful because you want to try and use the apexes and pull out like a fairly straight exit to maximize your speed. But sometimes as you come in, the brakes don't really give you all the grip in the world with all that load being transferred. And then when you turn, of course, it gets rid of some of that grip that the tyres have. So it's something that the drivers will have to battle with as Nut will cross the line. Where is he going to stand? It's a 109.7, so he will stay 15th. As Flyboy is still yet to set a lap.
Yeah, just off what you said before, Sector 2 is very treacherous for that. It's very easy to just give it a little bit too much in the corner, and you just have so much oversteer. The effects are just a lot worse on this track than some other tracks.
As was intended by the designers. For Wahid, okay, Wahid has just cracked the top time there with a 105.19, and T-Mac not that far behind with a 108.592. So only 8 thousandths in it, or 8 hundredths, sorry, in it. As Bandcamp now coming around for finishing his outlap. Matt Dabry, good medium times from Mattoid, ridiculous medium times from Mattoid, if you think about it. Lights 3D, wow, these people are fast. Yep, yeah, they are. Sometimes they do get overshadowed because, of course, you know, we like to focus on Revo, Mikau, Seb, those guys absolutely blitz times. But no, these guys are fast. You can see just how, as we said before, from that top time down to the last time is a second 1.3. Like,
yeah, man.
It's, at least in that top 8, it's anyone's game. Like, Wahid has set the fastest lap. We're currently on board with I was about to say Red Bull, but it's a Renault, and we're on board with Bandcamp. Pole will be a 108.1. I reckon. Maybe 0.0. Okay, Matt Dabry thinks it's going to be a 8 flat. Hobbsy, they go zoom. Yes, they do. Explain F1 like I'm 5. Cars go zoom. Fans go yay. 7 minutes 40 on the clock, so these guys will have a couple of chances. Oh, as Bellingham sets the fastest sector 2. And I think it just got broken. But we'll have a look. He's coming around the final corner there. 1:02 on the clock. Using all of the track. What will he cross? It's a 1:08.8. So it puts him up in the 6th. All right. Who else is on a lap? Looks like Geordie is about to hit Sector 2 now. Oh, sorry. Sector 2 starts way earlier than that. I was looking at the wrong white line.
Yeah.
All right. So he's in the middle of Sector 2 right now. Currently sitting 3rd, 1:08.6. See if he can improve it all. Gus rolls off to the left. Oh, he's about to hit traffic, though. This could spell a bad time for Geordie. We'll see if it affects him. Pretty sure purple S2 is a bug. That makes more sense. I was watching these guys in practice, and a lot of them were getting it as well. So, yeah, looks like Interlagos is bug. Thank you, Codemasters. Geordie has no ERS. He can't improve. You're right. He doesn't. He's about to run out. He's balancing it nicely there and pulls into the pits. So, no. That will not be a lap from him.
You gave it a go.
Let's jump on with Matzoid now. So he is just going around on his that lap. Started with the mediums, and he's still on the mediums. So he's going to want to. He's looking to do the longer first stint.
Flyboy just shot up to 1:08.6.
9.9. Slides into 4th. Very, very good. So the Racing Point guys getting a nice boost there in morale. They'll start 4th. Still have 6 minutes to go. Ooh, Matzoid might be in the way of Lotus here. Hopefully he can pull out. Nah, he's probably not going to catch him. Apparently it might be raining at the end, so Matzoid might want to go on the rain. Go to the rain on mediums. Yeah, yeah. The weatherman did say that rain could be a factor towards the end of the race, so maybe that will work in his favour. We'll see. Has to do one less pit stop if he can make it extend to the point of rain, or it could be one massive troll, and the rain never comes. But either way, we'll see what happens. Matzoid has already invalidated, so that's not going to go well for him. That's why it's set to 0, and he'll have to try again.
We have actually had a surprising amount of rain these last couple of weeks, both in Tier 1, Tier 2, and the 2010 series. It's been a very wet back half of the calendar.
We always seem to get crazy amounts of rain towards the end. Shouldn't be doing so many laps, though, depending on where the rain is. Yeah, true. Red Panda. Center S is brutal for track extensions. Yes, it is. You don't get a lot of leeway there. I hope that's something they fix in 2020, like that everything's more consistent. Because man, sometimes it's so annoying. T-Mac, Jesus, 108.3. So we're only 0.2 away from Matt's prediction there. See if anybody can get it in the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Now Matzoid will start his flying lap, and hopefully he doesn't invalidate this time. He does have a McLaren in his way, and there's the invalidation. Okay, so Matzoid will have to try again.
Smitty just jumped up to 3rd place with a 108.6.
Yeah, okay, wow, good day for the Red Bulls here. Well, technically Red Bull, but Toro.
Technically.
All right, so on board with Geordie now, who is currently 4th. 108.6 on the soft tyre. Let's have a look if he can improve at all. Now he's got full ERS. So we'll see if he can jump up the standings there. So T-Mac will still hold on to provisional pole, the 108.3. Why is he doing so many laps on those tyres? No idea. I'm assuming you're referring to Matzoid? Alright, so Nut has retired there, 109.7. He will start at the in 16th. Here we go, Geordie now through Sector 2.
Looks pretty tidy so far.
As he crosses the line, is he above? Is he below? Oh, 0.215 on his time. So this might translate to a bloody fast lap. Let's have a look. Can Geordie get back up to the top spot? Crossing the line, all depletion gone? No, 108.574. So it's only good enough for 3rd at the moment, and that's probably his last attempt. as he pulls over to the side to let people pass. So we'll have to see how many more. See if he goes one more time. I don't think he will. 2 minutes 50. It's still possible, but I think he might have spent that. So third so far for Geordie. T-Mac still on provisional pole, as Flyboy is getting ready to start his flying lap. Previous one was a 108.6, put him in 5th. Is there more potential to squeeze out from this racing point?
We were Friday's race was very chaotic. A lot of elbows out, a lot of banging wheels, a lot of crashing. T-Mac smacked into the wall in the first race, and someone renamed him to T-Smack.
T-Smack. Okay, I gotta remember that one. T-Smack. Okay, so Flyboy now in the middle of Sector 2, the technical bit. Monitor that telemetry window.
That's the one with the corners, isn't it?
Here we go. Here we go. Crosses that line, and he is 2/10 better. So was Geordie. He only really improved by 2 positions. Let's have a look. Can Flyboy back up to 3rd? Possibly for pole. 108.36, and he does. The fastest car around Interlagos with 1:20 left on the clock. The racing point will start on 1st position unless anybody can knock him down. There are a couple of cars out there on their flying laps to switch down to Wahid, who is the furthest of the group. As a lot more others are now flying across. So T-Mac has dropped down to 2nd place. Wahid currently still 3rd. Let's have a look at the telemetry window. Is he up on his time as he makes his way through the end of Sector 2? Yes, but only by 6 thousandths of a second. So I don't think it's going to be anything too miraculous. But let's see if he can at least overtake T-Mac or possibly just improve on his time. Either way, it's a bonus. Let's have a look. No, 4.63. So he will stay 3rd for now. As we jump on board with T-Mac in the same position, coming through Sector 2. So Flyboy doesn't want to relinquish this position, but T-Mac might have the final say. 17 seconds to go, so it's now or nothing. And he is 1/10 faster through Sector 2 than his last time. So things are looking good for T-Mac in the Williams. This will be a great boost for that team as he uses all of that curve. Gets a little bit unsettled, but I don't think it's going to matter. Let's have a look. Will he cross the line? Will it be first? And it is by a 108.26.
Wow!
And that'll be the finishing lap. So T-Mac will take back first place as Matzoid throws Flyboy down 1 as well on the soft tyre. 108.268.
That is so close.
That is crazy. 8 thousandths of a second splitting P1 and P2. Wahid, of course, has invalidated that, so it looks like he will stay 4th. A bunch of others crossing the line now. Apollo Pepsi, 108.64 in 6th. Smitty with a 108.67. And it looks like a couple of others are still coming across the line. But what you see should be pretty solid, I think. Oh, Potsy! 108.35. So he knocks Flyboy down to the second part of the second row of the grid. And he gets himself up there in the 3rd. Look at this. All right. So after all that, actually, I think Lotus is still... No, he's out. Just switch to him. Yeah, he's definitely out. So 13th will be where he stays. So from 1st place to 15th is within 8 tenths.
We've had close grids these last 4 weeks, but this is probably the closest.
That's ridiculous. So the fastest time there, T-Mac, congratulations to you, sir, a 108.26. And all the way down, technically to Nut, which is a 109.7, but of those who are actually at the end, would be Jacob Meister there. So within 8 tenths, that's how close that grid is. 15 drivers, 8 tenths of a second. That's awesome.
With rain at the end.
Well, yes, the potential of rain. This game is weird sometimes. But yes, with the potential of rain. So everything is at play. Now, of course, that was qualifying. In the race, Revo and Mikau are both in the mix. So, will they make their way through the grid easy? Will it be challenging? Is there more of a fight to come? I don't know, but those will be the questions that will be answered soon enough. So we just got to wait for those guys to finish loading in, finalize their race strategies, and then we can kick the formation lap off. But if that qualifying was any indicator, we should be in for quite a good one.
That was probably the closest qualifying I think we've had.
That was ridiculous.
Man,
that was really, really good. That was really, really good.
That was awesome.
All right, for those of you in chat, throw up your predictions now. Who do you think will win? Well, I mean,
it's
probably a good guess who's going to win, but still, predictions. Let's go. Let's see what.
I'm more interested in third place because I think first and second are locked up. I'm more interested in third place. I think it's either going to be Potsy or potentially Geordie on track, but penalties are going to put him back down to fifth. Yeah,
we'll have to try and keep a record of penalties. I might try my best to do that.
Actually, let me give it a go.
Yeah, sure. Because I need to start writing things down like a civilized person. All right. All right, so there it is. 18 drivers on grid. T-Mac leading them through the formation lap, getting tight. Can't even speak today. Getting warmth into the tires and the brakes.
I've been told that's important.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. There's a couple of... So, Matadabri's like, Revo will crash. BTFU 15, let's go Mikau. Okay, so Mikau's got a cheer squad happening. Red Panda. All right, this is a big one. So, Revo DNFs, Mikau DNFs. T-Mac is first, Matzoid is second, Flyboy is third. Okay. What are Lotus and Combined doing on softs? What they want is the correct answer.
Good answer.
All right, so top 10 on softs, because obviously that's what they qualified in, and then the bottom 8 cars. As Matt pointed out, everyone is on mediums except Lotus and Combined. So Lotus and Combined looking for that early speed, hoping to jump band and major pain.
I dare say some of these guys towards the back of the grid are hoping for that rain, or they're planning for it anyway.
Yeah, well, that would be a godsend for them, because on the mediums, you would be able to stretch them out that far, and then you only have to do one pit stop, rather than the guys on softs who would inevitably have to do 2 if the rain were to hit towards the end of the race. Red Panda. Revo up to P12 by lap 2. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that one. As everyone is now on the grid, you can hear the engines revving, so we're not too far away to start. We've just got to wait for those 5 red lights, and then we can kick things off. And there we are. The lights are out, and away they go to that first corner. And now we'll have to see, is it going to be clean? We're already seeing a little bit of battling happening, but so far everything looks okay. Oh, there's a Ferrari that spun. It looks like it's Gus Rolls.
Gus.
And it doesn't look like he got any damage, and it doesn't look like anyone else hit him. So I will call that a win. Not so much for Gus, but for the grid in general.
Going out very wide there.
Yeah, luckily he got to rejoin there. So there's a ton of positions that have been switched. You can see the green arrows going up and down all over the board. So Matzoid will now take first place. T-Mac down to third. Flyboy and Wahid are also having a little bit of a battle there as well.
Revo already in 10th.
Yeah, that's a good point. It hasn't even been the end of... and he's 10th, so Red Panda was wrong. So, that is -1 internet point to you. Alright, so on board with the devil we spoke of. Here we go. Revo now coming through the ranks. Shrimp looking panicky as he sees the big yellow car in his rearview mirror. He'll pass by. Thank you very much. No problem at all. And now he moves up into 9th. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there from Smitty and Revo. Different times, but... And we see a little bit of a timing bug as well, so hopefully that will get fixed. Let's jump up a couple of positions there. From 9th to 7th. On board with Geordie, who's looking at the 2 Racing Point drivers who are behind one another. Lights there. He could spinala and go back to 12th. Yep, so it's possible. I wouldn't put money on it, but it could happen.
One lap down, Revo up to 9th, and Mikau's already up to 12th.
These guys are fast, and they know exactly how to maneuver their cars to get the most out of them. And a lot of the time, especially in Brazil, you have to be brave when you take a lot of these gaps. And if you leave the door a little bit too open, a la Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton, then you can bet that those skilled drivers are going to take those opportunities.
This
makes an overtake of his teammate there for 11th.
I agree with Matt Dabry. It's pretty dark already.
Why do I feel like it's going to rain really soon? The clouds would be a good indicator. Yeah, it's not as sunny as it was just before. So a lot of these gaps are still keeping 0.8 there from T-Mac to Potsy, 0.4 here, Apollo and Geordie, and Revo for that matter. Smitty balancing around that 0.4 as well.
Revo getting close to the back of Geordie now.
Yeah, he already essentially forced Geordie's teammate to get out of the way. Now it's Geordie's turn. So we'll jump back. Revo doesn't even have the ERS on. There we go. Now it's on. Into overtake. Let's see what he can do, keeping an eye on those tyres. But Geordie's going to look for an overtake as well. Will he go on the outside of the centre S? No, not enough gap there. But Shrimp will take Smitty. Lotus will take Major Payne, and Combined made a move up there on Nut at the back as well. But Revo is now in the position. Geordie gently moves over to the left. Revo will take the position. Geordie knows that's not his fight. And Revo will continue to move on. So up in the 7th as we hit lap 4 of 36.
Pretty tame so far. All these guys behaving themselves really nicely.
Yeah, it's some pretty good racing. Very close. You don't see any major gaps. I mean, Gus rules, of course, with a 6.4 second gap, but he did have that off on the first turn, so he'll have to try and catch up as the race progresses. And everyone else, look at this. All within the 1 second. T-Mac is lagging a little bit behind. So is Wahid. There was a little bit of gap between both of those guys, but everyone else, all within the 1 second. Lotus is a little bit out as well. Bandcamp there with a 1.6. And Jacob Meister.
Combined getting very close to the back of Bandcamp now as they come up the straight.
Revo's looking to attack, but he will do it the smart way.
Bandcamp pits.
Sure. Bandcamp's in the pits.
Pepsi, 3 second penalty.
Right, so Pepsi will get caught with that. And Revo will be able to skate on by. He's trying to look on the inside, but doesn't want to get any damage. Apollo Pepsi screws up the exit of that, and that's going to allow the Renault to just make its way past. Oh, but Apollo Pepsi doesn't want to let go just yet. But in the end, he has to. So Revo will get by, up in the 6th place. Now Apollo's got to worry about the Alfa Romeo that's coming up behind him.
So Bandcamp threw on a set of softs.
Looks like he wasn't happy with the medium choice. Or he had damage and had to fix it. But I don't think I saw him collide with anybody. So
I didn't see an incident either. He was towards the back of the grid though, so maybe. Geordie on Apollo.
Here we go. Wahid switch with Band, Pepsi switch with Jacob. Oh, here we go. So Geordie makes the move on the outside of Apollo. Easy done. DRS, thanks you. That'll mean Geordie will now move up into 7th. Can Shrimp pull off the same move and join his teammate there? As Revo looks to overtake Flyboy. They're side by side. But they get past clean. Revo now into 5th.
Well done to him.
As Mikau and Shrimp exchange places. Oh, they're battling actually.
Side by side through the S's.
Still side by side there. Shrimp saying, no, I already let one of yous past. I'm not going to do it again. So Mikau's going to have to fight for this.
Shrimp defending very well.
Matt Tabry in the chat. How is Revo doing this? It legit doesn't make sense. That is what masters of their craft do. They make things look easy. And he sets the fastest time to boot. Mikau will now get past. Shrimp on the... Oh, maybe not! Shrimp defending on that inside line. Decided to break a lot later. And takes the... absolutely takes the W there. Wow, okay. It's a fight. It is definitely a fight between these guys. You would think that he'd be able to get past faster, but the problem is Mikau has started on the mediums, Shrimp on the softs, which means that in terms of grip and speed, Shrimp has the upper hand, and he's using that to keep Mikau at bay. This is great.
Oh, Smitty got a bit too close to the back of that horse, and he went off at the S's.
Oh no. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's got any damage. He has both end plates and the wing is fine, but now he's got to wait for those drivers. He might just accidentally get in the way of his teammate there.
Yes, he does.
Seems fine. Seems fine. Doesn't look like it's big, so...
He held him up a bit.
All right, so that'll drop him down. Both Toro Rossos now 15th and 16th. That's pretty rough. Sometimes that's how it goes. All right, so Potsy now in the lead. Matzoid only 0.2 seconds behind as Revo continues to set fastest lap after fastest lap. Mikau and Shrimp again trading places, but it looks like Mikau might just squeeze past this time around, and he does. Keeps that 9th place. Smitty overtakes his teammate there for 15th. Damn, no dirty drivers to take out Revo left. That's not what we're about. Come on, man.
Shrimp is not very happy with Mikau. He's looking to take that position back.
And this is what makes it so hard to try and balance the camera. Because if I switch to them, Matzoid will make a move and I'll miss it. I know how this works. This happens all the time. Yeah. So Potsy's trying his best to keep that lead. Matzoid wants to take it back. Revo has, yes, made his way up into 3rd. The gap is 1.9 seconds, but I guarantee you within the next 2 laps, it won't be. So here we go, Matzoid with the DRS. Now DRS is very, very powerful. As you can see, that Red Bull absolutely reeling in the McLaren. And he will skate by with no effort at all. And now the Red Bull leads this race.
Revo waiting in the wins, quickly catching up.
Hey, he's not too far. It's only 1.9. T-Mac folding close behind him as well. Might just swap down. Let's have a look at Geordie here, who's chasing down Flyboy.
Major Pain picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Just goes to show you how hard some of these guys are pushing. So Geordie, 0 on the ERS. Trying to conserve.
Oh, very late on the brakes then.
He'll want to use that ERS for the final straight, which is exactly what he's doing. So he's looking to try and take Flyboy. Flyboy with the same strategy. Let's have a look. The Alfa Romeo is fast. The Flyboy has dropped down 1 ERS mode. Wahid goes a little bit wide. However, Flyboy is looking to go into the pits. It is lap 10, so it would be around the time that these guys on softs are ready to switch. Sector 2, Sector 3, yellow flag.
So both of us missed it, but Potsy managed to get back past Matt Sword, and Matt Sword is looking to retake that position again.
Yeah, he did that on the final straight. They're going to be playing a game of leapfrog pretty much the entire time. But right now, Wahid is looking to attack Geordie, and he's looking to do it early now into the middle of Sector 2. Let's see how close Wahid can keep. Some of these corners make it a little bit hard, especially if you're fighting with dirty air, because you need all the downforce you can get. Try and keep your speed through a lot of these. And all through that section, the gap went from 0.1 to 0.7. So now Geordie is not within DRS range. Wahid is. So let's have a look and see if he can try and catch up.
Revo overtaking Matt Sword into the first corner.
Well, and Wahid will pull into the pits. Oh my God, does he make them? Yes, he does. Okay. For a minute, I thought he was absolutely not going to make that pit line. So Revo on the outside of Matt Sword. Up in the second place now, only one person left to take down. The gap between them, 0.6. I'm sure Revo will do short work of that.
His tyres would be performing a lot better now compared to Potsy's and Matsword's.
Just noticed that Revo is rocking the center helmet.
Is he?
Yeah, he must be doing it. Usually he... it's a different design, but it looks like for the Brazil race, he's decided to don the legendary lid.
Fair enough.
Here we go, DRS on. Let's see how much he can take out of this lead. God, it's a lot. DRS is so strong on that straight.
Yeah, man. It's a long straight as well. Potsy's tyres would be screaming.
ERS already switched down to 0. Potsy doing the same. He'll be looking for those typical battle points in order to try and keep this lead as long as possible. But I think he knows as well as anyone, it's almost an impossible fight.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say Potsy might be pitting this lap and next lap anyway. Mitty, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
At least one person always gets caught out doing that.
Oh, always, man. Always.
Here we go. Into the final corner now. As they hit that DRS section, watch that time go down. And now Potsy looks to go on the inside. He wants to try and cover that inside line. Revo will play it a bit safe. Smoke pouring out of the back of the car. Looks like a lock up from the front. This T-Mac now picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Potsy trying to break that toe. Oh, this could be an interesting decision. Potsy keeping his car firm in the corner, leaving Revo no choice but to pull back. Potsy is defending this well, and during the entire ordeal, Matzoid is capitalising on the time lost between the drivers.
Oh, Revo is just so much later on the brakes.
Yep. Right now, Revo is just keeping presence, making Potsy check his rear end. Second on second. Because Potsy knows that he won't have the speed to defend on the straight. He needs a little bit of gap to try and move onto the inside and hold the inside line of the first turn. As Matzoid drops back, but Revo does not. There goes the DRS, and Potsy looks to make the same maneuver again. Moves on the inside. Can he hold the line? But I think Revo's going to be a little bit too fast this time around. Maybe not. Revo has inched out forward, but it means they'll be side to side through the S. And Potsy squeezes out again. But now they're on their second DRS zone. Potsy won't really have anything left in the tank for it. And Revo will get past. It was a great attempt by Potsy. Held him off for a couple of laps at least. Oh, wait, hold on. They're side by side. Jeez, Potsy won't let this go. Looks like that's it.
Yeah, Revo put all 4 wheels off the track to get past him.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Well done from McLaren. Potty making sure to let Revo know, hey, you can have first place, but you're not just going to take it. You're going to work for it. And Matzoid's now caught up to the gap. It's good news for Potty too, because he was plagued with really bad internet, but now he's got NBN, so now good internet, well, good quotation marks, as good as the NBN can be, decent internet is letting Potty's ability shine through. So instead of being the guy that everyone avoids because they don't want to get into some weird glitch accident, now he's in a position where he goes off on the inside, trying to overtake. In the first corner, he tries to squeeze Revo out, but realizes it was a disappearing gap. And in absolute true center form says, if you're no longer go for a gap, are you a racing driver? Apparently not. But he tries to do it again. Now he's got DRS down into the next turn. And Potty's back in front.
What is going on? This is amazing.
That is absolutely fantastic work.
Oh, it's still jockeying for position into Sector 2. Potsy gets a little loose with the rear end. Still side by side.
They're still fighting. Revo is like, hold on, this doesn't happen. Why am I not getting away from this guy? And Potsy's like, I'm not going to let you.
Potsy having possibly the best race of his life so far.
Here we go. Okay, so as they come into that straight again.
Simon's in chat. Come on, NBN.
All right, so Revo now has a comfortable gap. It's 0.4. Maybe that's the gap that he needed. I'll jump back on board. As they move into that second DRS part, we'll see how well it goes. But I think that's all it needed. Well, at lap 16, those softs have absolutely got to be destroyed. I can't imagine there's much pace left in them. So right now, I think that's the end of that battle. And hopefully Potty will be able to bring it later on in the race. We've only got 20 laps to go so far. I've noticed people in the chat saying that my mic is peaking. That's awesome. That means that, oh, I see rain.
That's right, rain. That's what... Oh, Potsy and Matsuet and T-Mac, all these guys still on the softs, making the perfect strategy call.
All right, so rain has come at lap 16, and I think that might be a blessing in disguise for these drivers.
Let's see, is Revo going to pit? No.
Nobody does. They all stay out.
Okay.
Matzoid looking to go up on the outside. Will he? It's a bold move. I think the DRS zone is probably the better choice. But they do have to be careful because as the rain falls, you're going to see a lot more sliding from these guys. So Matzoid's got to make the move now. He decides to go up on the inside. And makes the overtake. Nice and clean. Oh, but the exit's a bit sketchy. This might allow Potty to get back on in. They're side by side coming up into Sector 2. Oh, Potty pulls out. So he plays a safe game. Doesn't want to risk too much.
Can I just say that I wouldn't have even a million years have bet that it would take Revo 16 laps to get to first place.
No.
I mean, it shows you how good everyone else is getting.
Yeah. I never would have expected that battle. Ever. But Potty really did bring it to him, which is awesome to see. Oh, as Matto gets a little bit sideways, so it starts to affect. You can see. Yep, you can start to see a Toro Rosso there. Just went for a little bit of a spin as Potty. He flies out on the outside. Now this is an even riskier overtake because
Matzoid hit him,
and that's what I thought was going to happen. Now Matzoid has gone off the track. And I thought that was going to happen because as the tyres die, as they just start to wear out completely and the rain comes down, stopping is just going to be so much harder. And Matzoid's paid the price there. Mikau, Lotus, Gus Rules, first cars now on the intermediate tyre.
Now, that is an end plateless Red Bull.
Yep, in proper fashion. I apologise to everyone who's watching. The game might pause for a slight sec because...
Matt's definitely not letting us down.
Alright, there we go. Saw that some of you said that... Oh, he's drifting! Oh my god, T-Mac now getting caught up in this. You can see how slow they have to go in order to make these corners. And DRS has been officially disabled, so the rain is good and proper now. Which means it's only going to get heavier from here. So these guys really do have to think about pitting in. Jesus, Matsued cannot even turn the corner. Those tyres are dead. T-Mac's in the same situation. They're both on 17 laps aware. Oh no, and they collided! Oh, and it's caused Matsued to spin, and T-Mac's in a problem as well!
Oh no. Revo picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Wow. Okay, this is throwing everything in the works now. Oh, Geordie and T-Mac trying to slow up. Let's have a look at that. So there you can see they're up coming through. And then, yeah, just can't sort of stop in time. Boom. Absolute collision.
Pepsi, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, Pepsi's like a magnet for these things, man.
Dude, he's just so unlucky.
Absolute magnet.
Everyone on Inters now.
So Revo out on track in first on the intermediate tyre. He has a 2.7 second gap between himself and Potsy. Mika 3.15, so Mika is now up into third. And now as the rain falls, this is where the gaps start to really extend. Now hopefully we will see these gaps close up, but I don't like the chances. And the other question would be, will the rain get so heavy that these guys will have to switch to wets? I don't think so. I think Inters will be fine.
Apollo pretty close to the back of Shrimp. But that's about the only action happening at the moment.
That is indeed the closest gap so far. Just a little life pro tip for those of you who use noise suppression. It will cut your mic out once it hits a certain volume, and that's what was happening.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yep.
Now, a couple of these guys picked up some nasty penalties. Smitty, Shrimp, and Revo, as well as Pepsi, all picking up a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. If we have a late safety car, that is really going to affect them.
Mm-hmm. And that possibility is increasing with every single lap. There you go.
There's Toro Rosso.
And that is Smitty, I believe, yeah. We still have 16 laps in this race. The rain is only getting heavier. Some of the people here in chat think it will go to full wet conditions. It needs to go really heavy for it to go full wet. So I mean, like, if it does, oh, it's going to be an absolute chaos to the finish. Got a Sector 2 yellow flag. It looks like it was the one of the Ferraris there. Oh, Shrimp trying to make a move here on Wahid. But you can barely see. Here we go, down through the gears, trying not to collect that rear tyre. Otherwise, that'll be a wing gone, and that'll just be monstrous. Oh, you can see how much he's fighting that wheel.
Bit of contact.
Oh, Wahid's gone! Oh, so is Shrimp!
Shrimp! No!
And that is a VSC.
Oh!
And that is a VSC called. Let's have a look at that again. My God.
Damn.
Tried to get out of the way. Wahid gets skirt on the end. And oh my God. Shrimp has hit that wall in exactly the spot that it needed to hit for that tyre to come off. Oh my God. So that is 2 DNFs at the same time. Completely out of this race. A virtual safety car has been called, which will mean, of course, all drivers have to slow down. underneath the Delta and maintain that time until, as such, the virtual safety car is called off. So, wow. All right. Now, with a VSC, the gaps don't tend to close because, of course, they're only held by Deltas. So Riva will still have that 4.6 lead gap. But if a safety car comes out, that is where this all gets thrown up in the air.
Damn, man, I can't believe that went so bad on the last corner. Huge crash.
Shrimp had to pull back a little bit to avoid. Oh, geez, Lotus get caught out there as well. Didn't want to make an incident. Has to go up onto the grass. So, I cannot believe they both DNF'd. Usually you can get away. Usually when you slide, especially in Wahid's position, like he slid and I thought, okay, well, he'll hit the back. You can't really get damaged on the back. There's nothing to damage on the back. But no, he ended up sliding so far, he hit the other side of the track. And, man, it's so unfortunate. And Shrimp, he literally hit the wheel in the one place where that would happen. Everywhere else, any other angle, he would have just bounced off the side, maybe broken an end plate. But no.
Bad luck.
Hits the angle, just bang, wheel comes off. And that's the end of their race. So 16 drivers left now. Lap 23 of 36. The rain continues to fall. What sort of crash causes a safety car versus VSC? Yeah, Red Panda's got it. It's pretty much a dice roll. There's nothing you can really... Usually, if the car is stuck in the middle of the track, a safety car is called. But most of the time, if it's off the side, it just continues on. But it's random. There is no calculated to it. Oh, okay, so Nut deciding to be the first driver to chuck on the wets. And I do have to admit, that rain is coming down heavy.
It's definitely increasing. Maybe Nut has... maybe Nut's on the right strategy. We'll have to see.
Big brain plays.
Could be.
Gus rules. 3-second time penalty there. So the penalties are coming hard and fast now as people are trying to fight. Here we go. There's a Sector 3 yellow flag. It's one of the Toro Rossos. I think it's Smitty. And it is Smitty stuck in the middle of the track. Luckily, not getting in anyone's way. He's got to watch the re-entry, though. You don't want to have... That's all right. Potsy goes past. Mika goes past. Nut goes past. And now he can rejoin safely. God, he is not having a great race.
Yeah, man, that's a bit rough. Mikau is getting pretty close to Potsy.
0.5 the gap between those two. Closest gap on track. Now, of course, in the rain, there is no DRS. So the tow becomes more important than ever. But even then, that gets affected by the amount of water that's splashed behind the car, acting even more drag. Sector 2, yellow flag. Oh, it's Smitty again.
Ugh.
He's in the wall. He is not having a great time. I
struggling.
I do think Smitty is racing with no assists, though. I think he decided to try that, so this might be why he's getting hit. Oh, man! Smitty got hit with a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. And I think he was just trying to get out of the way of people.
Yeah.
You can see that yellow flag up still. And everyone is starting to make their way past. It is really not his day. Look at that. He's driving slow. He's trying to just stay out of everyone's way. I don't see any damage on him, though. I mean, I think right now it's just... He's just trying to drive. He's got the assists off, and I think he's just trying to drive. And what a race to turn them off at.
Ah, dude, this is... first of all, it's a very tough track to do it on. And then, yeah, having rain just really doesn't help.
You can see how much he's got to fight.
Mikau is not going to make a move yet, but he's very close to the back of Potsy.
Let's jump back on board with him. What happened to Smitty? He died many times. Matt with the absolute perfect play there. As Major Payne picks up a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. So these guys have to be careful because you can't be sliding off this track. It will penalise you regardless.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of it, and it's actually not too bad. The practice races were a lot worse for penalties.
So lap 25 of 36. 9 laps to go. Revo in the lead of this race with an 8.6 second gap. But second place is very much in contention. Mikau, 0.5 behind. And as he gets closer and closer to the back of that car, the opportunities open up more and more. But he does have to be careful because any wrong move, and it could spell the end of the race, let alone just the loss of an overtake opportunity, as Smitty unfortunately slides off again through Sector 2. And right now, that car is just undrivable for him, I'd say.
Yeah, man. He's
Mick out. Please don't scare me like that. Curbs are wet. Do not touch curbs.
Got to try and avoid him in the dry, let alone the wet.
So Nut swapped from inters to wet. And I'm assuming he's just realised it's way too... there isn't enough rain for wet. So... Oh, and there's Smitty backwards.
Oh, no.
If you just caught that. G'day, Jez. Nice to see you, buddy. Yes, we have a wet race. Mikau is still chasing Potsy down. And the gap is getting closer and closer. And it could be attack time, but Mikau must not lose sight of the fact that it is wet. I would hate to see an overtake opportunity go wrong because of that. Sector 3 yellow flag.
Potsy, ducking and weaving.
There we go. Mikau looks to go up on the outside. It's a brave move. Potsy can force an error, which he does. The Haas has to put all 4 tyres off the track. And Potsy will hold on to the position. Potsy doesn't care who it is that's behind him. They will get the full effect of the defensive techniques.
In other words, McLaren is now sponsored by NBN Co.
There it is. So it's really good to see Potsy at full performance here. What a great spectacle he has put on. First, makes Revo work for that position, and now he's doing the same to Mikau.
I just realised Mikau's only got 9, pretty much 8 laps left to actually get this done.
Yep, it's counting down as Smitty retires from the race, so he's had enough. And looks like he pulls out to the side of the track in a safe position. No VSC, no safety car called. Everyone can continue on with their race. And as the laps count down, Mikau, that gap is increasing. Potsy is getting away. It's almost out to the 1 second now.
Do you know how close Potsy actually is to the win? He's 2 seconds off because Revo's got 8 seconds worth of penalties.
8? So he got 5 for speeding in the pit lane, and then...
He picked up another one at a 3 second for corner cutting.
I doubt Potsy will be able to bring it down because Revo just gets faster and faster as the laps count. But if he did, that's something... So 8 seconds is the key here, is that right?
Yep.
8 seconds. All right, we'll keep an eye on that timing tower. So not only is Potsy defending second position, but Potsy might even get a win if he can bring that time down. Any sort of time penalty from Potsy would, of course, end that. So he'll have to be sure not to push too hard. But we'll see if it's a possibility. Matt, surprised in chat. Did you say Revo sped in the pits? He did. If there's a safety car, Revo... Yes, that is true. Revo is pretty much screwed if there is a safety car. But everyone is driving fairly well. And if there is a safety car with 6 laps left, or 7 rather, then, it's going to be a mad dash to the finish.
As you say, that commentator's curse kicks in.
I would hate that because I'm watching Mikau. And I really don't want him to spin. He has flirted death. That previous turn, He has flirted with that corner. He's been sideways a good 45 degrees the last couple of laps. And I do not want him to punt it.
This is just amazing watching him and Potsy actually have a proper battle.
Mm-hmm.
Potsy's defending so well.
And don't get me wrong, there are battles happening everywhere. Mikau is 0.4 behind Potsy. T-Mac is floating around the same to Matzoid. And Lotus is 0.5, 0.6 to Major Payne. So there's 3 close battles happening. Obviously, we can't keep eyes on all of them, but Mikau is getting closer and closer. Now, the funny thing is, if you pay attention, I think Potsy screwed up on that exit. And Mikau's now down to the 0.4. This might be the mistake Potsy didn't want to make. Look how close he comes up, but he still can't squeeze past. It's too wet to make a move there. So Mikau just has to try and compress like an accordion almost. Compress the time and then extend a little bit, give a gap, and then try and compress it again on the next straight. And every single time Mikau gets a little bit back, Potsy puts his foot down a little bit further and extends it again. But now it's around the 3/4 mark. 6 laps to go. If Mikau's going to make a move, he's got to make it soon.
This is phenomenal to watch. I cannot believe how well Potsy's doing.
You can see the back of that McLaren is kicking out now from time to time as the tyres get worn, as the track gets more and more moisture. The tyres will start to give, and that could spell disaster. Potsy has to make sure he keeps his mind aware of that, because Mikau is ready to pounce. 0.5 now the gap. See, Potsy makes it back through the second sector. Potsy's much faster through those technical parts. But look, Mikau's now only 2/3 max behind, and as they come down, the toe's going to be powerful. This might be where it happens. Mikau now's got to make a decision. Potsy, typical defensive maneuver, stays on the inside, which means it's going to come down to the braking section. Mikau's on the outside, but he might get forced off. Potsy tries to keep it. Mikau, no choice but to go off the track. And that's the defensive move in action. Potsy holds onto that inside line. Mikau with nowhere to go, couldn't slow up. And now the gap's extended again. So 5 laps now. Can Mikau bring it back?
Wow. Potsy absolutely pulling every rabbit out of the hat.
This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. 5 laps to go. Revo now with a 14-second lead. So with Potsy having to defend and battle, he was never going to be able to push hard enough to get that time down. So it's safe to say Revo will probably have this win here at Brazil. But the real battle now, the real focus is on Potsy and Mikau. Mikau is fast enough to catch up the time through the last sector. Potsy is fast enough to maintain. You can see how sideways he got. The McLaren did it again. He managed to keep it off the inside of that track. And Mikau just has so much more pace. Look at that, both on 4 ERS mode. And then Mikau will come up, slow down again. Oh, he's gone hard. He's gone way too hard. Mikau avoiding Potsy there. Oh, he saved the wing, man.
These guys are just racing to the absolute limit.
Absolute props to Mick out there. He managed to save the wing. When I saw that McLaren suddenly get bigger, I thought, oh god, Mikau's going to hit him. But no, he managed. And also, a props to Potsy, who's had the awareness to realise that Mikau had nowhere to go. So he's absolutely let him... Oh, don't drift like that, please. Don't do that. You're scaring me, man. Potsy with the awareness to keep... Because look, any standard driver would have been like, oh yeah, it's my corner, I'm just going to turn. But no, Potsy saw that Mikau was going faster, waited, Mikau's car goes straight past, both avoid damage, and now we can continue this. This is absolute grade A class 1 driving from these two. And we've still got 3 laps of it left.
This is probably the best racing I think we've seen in a long time.
At least in my memory, it's bloody close, and there's small battles happening everywhere, but I can't take my eyes off this one. Second place is in contention for both of these drivers. Potsy is doing an amazing job to stay where he is. The gap floats around that 0.5 mark, but every time there's a straight, you can see how much it gains. The Haas just uses all of that toe, and almost like an anchor on the back of that McLaren, he just pulls on it, slowing the McLaren down. Well, not slowing the McLaren down, but making the Haas so much faster. There are two of those on this track. Obviously, there's the main straight, and then immediately after the center S. And that's where Mika makes his time. Now, through the technical section, Potsy seems to be faster, but Potsy's having a hard time with his car. And Mika is now holding onto the back of him like glue. So, 3 laps to go. Can Potsy hold off the black and gold monster? Or will Mika finally put a nail in this coffin? We're coming onto that.
No, Ali, they don't have pens.
Angel Clawdust there in the chat. Mika needs to be closer out of the final corner. He does. He does. And I think he knows that, but I don't know if the tyres are going to let him. And here we go. Mika again, closing up the gap, but he knows he can't make brave. There you go. Safe braking. Safe braking. 2 laps to go. Potsy probably has his hand just every second flicking that look back button, making sure that the Haas stays in a decent gap. You can see the McLaren there dancing a little bit, coming out of the bottom into the curve of Dassault. It's intense. Both of these guys, maximum focus to make sure they don't make a mistake. I'm losing words. I'm actually losing words.
It's just phenomenal racing. It really is. Both these guys, class driving.
So you can see the gap dances there. 5 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths. As they come through there, Potsy is maintaining it now. I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable with the loss of grip. And there it is again. We'll swap back onto the onboard camera. Now, Mikau is closer than he was last time, but I think it's still too far away for it to be an effective gap there. It's only going to dance around possibly 3, possibly 2 tenths. It's not going to be enough. And Mikau's going to keep playing this accordion game. He has to get past. The time is ticking away. We are now down to the final 2 laps. You can see, look at the ERS levels. They're identical. These guys are driving almost identical. Maintaining ERS. Maintaining the grip levels. Oh, Mikau, please, get back on track. Thank you. All right. You can see the slight bits of mistake, the slight focus breaking away as Mikau tries so hard to keep on the back of that McLaren, but as it stands, especially with that gap getting much larger through this technical section, I think Potsy has this in the bag, but we do still have a lap to go.
Mikau nearly turning into a lawn ornament there.
A very expensive lawn ornament.
Yep.
Now I'm going to have to keep one eye on this battle and one eye on this timing tower because T-Mac and Matzoid are also dancing. Okay, here we go. Mikau, this is your last lap, bud. Last lap. If you're going to make a move, you have to make it. You have to make it now. It has to be this one or it's nothing. Unless Potsy makes a massive mistake in the middle of the sector. This is good. It's going to bring down, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make the corner. Who will crack under pressure? Will Potsy maintain the defensive strategy, or will Mikau find a chink in the armour? You can see how much they have to fight these cars just to make it around these. ERS gets played back and forth. Potsy has much more of it to play with than Mikau does. Mikau's trying to use the ERS to get more power out of these corners, but in the wet, it's essentially lost. I don't think you're going to be able to get much done with it. We see a Sector 3 yellow flag, but it goes away almost instantly. The gap is 5 tenths, I think. God forbid a mistake here. Potsy will take...
Oh! Revo, 5 seconds penalty, unserved.
Yeah, but that would be
too far ahead.
Yeah, no, it's way too far ahead. And Potsy with an amazing drive, holds on, and will take second place here. All right, now quickly back down. But it looks like Matzo does have this gap. 0.9. T-Mac's a little bit too far ahead for it to make any form of difference. It was a lot closer than that, but my lord. All right, so that is the end of the race. Revo will take the win with a 6-second. There goes my vocabulary. 6-second gap.
Hard,
and Potsy. Potsy, what a drive, man. Holds on to second place. Just not giving Mikau an inch. An inch. And Mikau tried to take it. But man, and it was a close call. There was a couple of close calls. Mikau pushing so hard, he got forced off the track. Mikau pushing on the inside. Potsy with smart awareness, keeping both cars out of the damage. And in the end, Potsy takes that second place, man. What a drive. And Mikau as well. Like, both of you. Amazing drive. Very good. Very entertaining to watch. Oh, man.
That was so good. I cannot believe how much the internet has made a difference to just Potsy's performance.
Look at that. Revo's even racing Senna's avatar. That's almost blasphemy for that guy. He literally drives Alain Prost and that's it. But I guess it's Brazil. He wanted to make a statement. So congratulations to Revo for another win. I mean, you just saw masterclass there. Back of the grid to the front of the grid. Like, just... Oh, man. And again, congratulations to Potsy and Mikau. What a drive. What a drive. What a last... It was like the last 10 laps. The guys just battled. Absolutely intense.
I can't believe it, man.
Matzy and T-Mac as well. Good job there from Geordie in fourth. Nice battle between those two. Combined, Major Payne, Flyboy, Jacob Meister rounding up the top 10. Getting the last of the points for Williams. That's awesome to see both Williams there in the point scoring. Lotus, Apollo, Bandcamp. Unfortunate DNFs for both Shrimp and Wahid. Really intense to see. And Smitty, of course, man. Smitty, feel so bad for you, man. But unfortunately, sometimes that's what happens. Anyway, that's all from us. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know we have. As usual, I've been Kuno Zero. This has been Psycho. Stick around. Tier 2's only around the corner. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.
See you guys.
Just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time?